guys, Jeff in here, Makawa on the screen, and this one's going to be a Myoko. Now, Myoko is a kind of a hot button topic. A lot of guys don't like it. I'm a big fan of it. I think that it has its place in the tier, and I think that as long as you play it with a mindset that, hey, there's enough armor on this thing that if I go broadside, it's going to basically activate any armor-piercing shell right into my citadel. You know, I gotta basically CYA here, right? If I go about doing that, in that mindset, that if I give too much broadside, I'm gonna get punished. Hey, I gotta make sure my angle's good. I need to use my rudder. I need to basically play a little more defensive. If you take that approach, okay, you can have a good game in Myoko. Now, you're going to see here, this is a combination of playing it smart and knowing when it's time to be aggressive and trying to use my armor, what armor I have on Myoko, and all that good stuff. You saw the brief breakdown of the teams. A lot of destroyers, only 2 battleships, 1 on each side. So there's an important kind of caveat here. Myoko does not hold up very well against enemy battleships. Whether that's tier 5, 6, or if you're up tiered, obviously, against 7. Regardless, it doesn't hold up very well against battleships, and the battleship caliber guns really do punish it. So you have to be mindful of that. Another thing I want to point out, just because it's a Japanese cruiser doesn't mean that you need to not use AP. Myoko's AP is fantastic. Okay, it's very good. You're going to see in this game how effective Myoko's AP is, especially against tier 6 cruisers, and there's some juicy tier 6 cruisers in this game, okay? And you're going to see an example of why you don't give flat broadside in Myoko's and Japanese cruisers in general, especially tier 5 and up, because those have a tendency to be punished severely for those decisions. But to talk specifically here, Myoko, the torpedo angles, it's a defensive angle on the torpedoes. It's a kiting position on the torpedoes. So I'm anticipating this enemy Myoko coming around the corner. So I'm going to send the torpedoes on the indicator. Okay, and then I'm going to send them a little bit before the indicator. And the anticipation is that if I get him to turn out or turn away from those torpedoes, he's going to turn into the next layer of torpedoes. So that's my thinking. This Myoko wasn't paying attention to us. And oh my, 6 citadels, 29,000 damage. And in 4 seconds, we're going to be reloaded again. Let's see, I don't even think he's got his guns on us there. He's finally starting to turn out. We're going to hit him again for another 3+K. So right there, that just shows when you give too much angle to any Japanese or in a Japanese cruiser, when you give too much angle, you will be punished for that decision. You take another 2K there, and he's starting to kite away. Now see, that's the position, and that's the angle that you really need to play Myoko in. So you see there, we kind of anticipate which direction he's going to be going. We have the A-cap, and I think we get a kill. Yes, we do. Alright, there he goes down for the first blood, 36,000 damage right at the opening bout and the jump here. So you look at in that mini map, you see those gray circles, and they pop up, both of them, the Surrey and New Orleans. So I'm kind of deciding if I want to go around the backside of this island and try to flush them toward my friendly battleship by the A-cap, or if I'm going to go into the A-cap in between that little opening in the islands and maybe pushed onto the B-cap after trying to knock some of these guys down. So I'm kind of making this decision here. Ultimately, I decide, hey, you know what? Let's go toward this island a little more. Maybe I can push that decision off. But I'm basically leaning at this point heavily toward number 1, going into the A-cap to defend the A-cap, and number 2, hopefully being able to defend the A-cap, engaging some targets, and then pushing onto the B-cap. You are a cruiser. Your job is to support destroyers, hunt destroyers, and fight over these caps aggressively. Okay, that's my opinion on it. So there you go, New Orleans, flat broadside again, hit him with another citadel. Okay, up to 41,000 damage here. Now I'm going to turn, I'm going to kick the rear guns in. And why is that? Well, because I have the opportunity to get those rear guns in action, and I'm not being threatened actively at the time. There's another 2 citadels, and that's going to be a sinking. That's our second sinking. We're up to 47,000 damage, 2 sinkings, and we're, what, 5 minutes into the game here. Suri not seeing us here. We're going to send a big salvo out his way. Hopefully we can do some damage. Vakalin comes around the corner. I switched to the HE, and you see there's another 3 citadels on the New Orleans out wide. Vakalin pops up. We have the sonar running here. I'm anticipating that salvo, and he tries to give us the old Dodgeroonie. Doesn't work out for him. One full salvo from Myoko, and we take away half of Vakalin's health, and he goes down for our 3rd kill. Again, we swap right back to the AP. Okay, and Suri is throwing some salvos out at us. This Myoko, I'm telling you guys, these Japanese heavy cruisers are legitimate and they are a big threat. I know a lot of guys say Yamamoto for the commander. I like to try to give my survivability as much as I possibly can. You know, and that's why I go with Makawa. This Suri, for some reason, decides he wants to throw way too much angle at us, and that's going to cost him. He's our 4th sinking of this game. Now I'm going to use that, basically the sinking, I don't know which ship that was, but whatever ship is sinking in front of us. The reason I went toward him like that, toward that sinking ship, was because I was unsure if by some chance Suri was able to get off those single stack torpedoes, which can be devastating. You see here, Kansas has full health. I'm asking for some support from him. That shot by the enemy North Carolina could have been deadly. But again, we're switching this rudder around. We're trying to stay agile. We're trying to stay mobile. We switch it back to the HE. We're constantly trying to switch these shells, and we end up getting about 3 standard pens there. The Vladivostok here, we end up sending a salvo out his way. He could be an easy kill on a Kraken, you know. And again, at this point in this game, there was so much action going on back and forth here early on at ACAP, that I really was not paying too much attention to the fact that I already had 4 sinkings. So you see Vladivostok, we're just sending salvos out. We're just trying to, you know, again, I'm not really noticing that I'm that close to a Kraken. I know I'm having a good game right now, but I don't really know what that good game looks like. So you see there, we end up taking him down, the Vladivostok with the fire, and then the Kraken Unleashed pops up, and I was like, oh damn, that's right, yeah. I guess that was number 5. So you see here, I'm trying to fight and I'm trying to engage to get the high caliber, but I don't want to just go charging into the battleship. I don't want to just go charging into North Carolina. I would like for our friendly Kansas, who basically has an unimpeded broadside to that North Carolina, to basically let him have it and give him a couple of big salvos here. That our friendly Kansas, I don't necessarily know what he's done this whole game, but I know he hasn't been a damage attractor. He has not been a damage sponge like many battleships, like the role of what a battleship should be. So you see there, we have a friendly cruiser and a friendly destroyer out by us. I highlight cap in the B cap. Weimar looks like he's heading into the B cap, which is great. Okay, that's great. That's going to basically set us up if we can get into that B cap and flip it or start to flip it, and at the very least prevent the accrual of points. Kiev pops up there. We're using the auto aim feature. We're going to send a salvo out. Now, for some reason, you're going to see here coming up in a second what decides to start randomly shooting at me. You know, and of course, there the auto aim feature. Kiev kind of readjusted its direction and its path, so my shells on the auto aim missed. Again, destroyers are popping up. You know, we're not just going to start holding shots. We're going to throw them out. Okay. Yes, 14 seconds on the reload is not bad. It's not the best, but it's not bad. We're just trying to get shells out, shells downrange, shells on target. That's our objective here, okay? You know, you can basically say whatever you want about the ship, about the game, you know, but that's our primary objective. You see that we get a good salvo on Kiev. We're sending out another shot there. Kiev is going to be going down here in a minute, you would assume. And of course we basically got real close to him, peppered right around him. So torpedoes came in there. And again, I'm trying to blind fire the Kiev again. For some reason, I threw the back end out. And I did that because I thought, hey, you know, I'll try to get those rear guns in action. So Akatsuki pops up here. This is a primary example of why you don't try to burn cruisers down. Yes, I got 9,000 health left, and he has the drop on me here for sure. Okay, I have my sonar running. We hit him with the front 2 guns for 2+K. He's turning out there. We send the back guns his way. We hit him for another, what, 500 plus and fire. Again, he has a good chance here to burn us down and do some serious damage. We get the Confederate there. He's for some reason turning out. We're gonna send a big salvo his way, hit him for another 3+K. This just comes down to, can he out DPM me? And we've talked about cruisers in the past and their primary roles, and you know, again, I understand that this guy is basically just doing a last-ditch effort here. That ends up getting him killed, and I'm trying to immediately there. You see, I smashed the heal button at 124 HP remaining, and yeah, 6 kills. Quite a lot going on there for us in this one. Probably one of my best games total in a cruiser. Definitely my best Myoko game here. So if you guys liked the video, give it a like. We're gonna have games coming out every 3 days here on the channel. So subscribe, and I will see you guys out on the high seas.